Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the lesson from today, which was the ultimate solving strategy. So, if you look down here, there are 5 simple steps for being able to solve any equation. And really, they're like less steps, or just like strategies. But anyway, we'll get into this a little bit. So, if you read the first one, it's saying you need to simplify each equation, but yeah, that means you need to distribute. You need to combine like terms, anything like that. Combine everything that you can. 2, which is do the opposite operation to each side of the in the opposite order of operations. So please excuse my giant cell. Your parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, and subtract. You need to go opposites. So you need to do subtract, add, divide, multiply, exponents, and parentheses in a backwards fashion. Okay, you need to put all the terms of variable on one side of the equation and all the numbers on the other side. And you need to simplify, 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 simplify whenever you can. And number 5, you have to make sure you simplify correctly. The reason people get these wrong is because they don't do that. Okay, please use a calculator. If you're ever stuck on things, please use a calculator. And if you follow these simple steps, you'll go from being just an average Joe solver to a superhero solver. You have a big head, big body. You know, maybe you wear a cape if you want, that like blows in the wind, and you'll just have awesomeness just pouring out of you from all pores, and it's going to be awesome, okay? We're going to start with an easy one here. Still following the same steps. We're going to look at both sides. Are they as simple as possible? Yes, that one's as simple as possible. Nothing combines there. Nothing combines there. So we already got step 1 done. Now we need to choose which side we want our variables to be on. Let's choose the left side, because, well, that's convenient, which means we need to get the variable out of the right. Make a conscious decision which side you want your variable on. So I'm going to get rid of the variable on the right by adding x. I'm going to do the opposite operation, and what you do to one side, you have to make sure you do the other, okay? And now you need to do some simplifying. Those combine, right? Okay, those are gone. You can, if you have subtract x, add x, those combine and they disappear, okay? And that's going to leave you just the 11 on the right side. On the left side, on the other hand, you're going to have the 3x and the x. Those combine, and that's going to give you 4x. And then you have the subtract 1. Alright, moving on. So on the left side we got 4x minus 1, and on the right side we got 11. So now we need to work on getting all the non-variable stuff on the right side. Once again, you need to do the opposite order of PEMDAS. So add and subtract, it would be on our first things to get rid of if we're going the opposite order. So I'm going to do the opposite of subtract 1, which is add 1, and make sure what you do to one side, you do to the other. And then when you simplify things, once again we're simplifying here, make sure you simplify correctly. 11 plus 1 is going to give you 12. On the left side, the minus 1 and plus 1, those cancel out. Okay, those are gone. And that leaves you just 4x, and the rest of you got 12. And now we had one last step, and that's to get rid of what's in front of the x. Right? You can't just let 4x be there. You have to get x all by itself. And so you're going to divide both sides by 4, and that's going to give you x equals 3. Okay, 12 divided by 4, that gives you 3. Ta-da, that one's done. Moving on to the next one. So if we look at this medium-sized one, something I want to point out is that there's parentheses, and that's not as simplified as it's going to be. Right now we're not simplifying, we need to do some simplifying. So that involves us distributing the negative 3 through these parentheses here. Remember, if you have parentheses and the number in front, that number in front needs to be times by everything that's inside parentheses, and so that's going to give you negative 15n, and then subtract 3. And this plus n here, he's not involved. He's just there. He doesn't get times by negative 3. He's outside the parentheses, so he doesn't get times by negative 3. On the right side, negative 3 times both of those is going to give you negative 15, and then minus 3n. Okay, now you need to choose which side you want your variable to be on. I'm going to choose it to be on the right side, and so I'm going to move all my variable stuff over that way, and then all the number stuff that way. Okay, and so I'm going to take this negative 15n, and I need to do the opposite operation of that is, which is plus 15n, and what you do to one side, make sure you do the other. And then you also have to, I totally forgot to do something, which was simplify. Notice how simplify shows up on our steps like 3 times. You gotta make sure you simplify. Those combine. I'm not done simplifying. So on the left side, I'm going to get negative 14n, subtract 3. And on the right side, we have negative 15 minus 3. Okay, and that'll make it easier. It's going to reduce the number of steps we need to take. So again, I'm going to take this 14. I don't want to subtract 14n, I want to add 14n, because that's going to undo the negative 14n there on the left side. On the left side we just have 3, those are gone. Right side we got negative 15. The negative 3n plus 14n is going to give you positive 11n. And now I just need to get the numbers there on the left side. So I need to get rid of the negative 15 by adding 15 to both sides. And on the left side, it's going to give me positive 12. On the right side, we just have 11n. Those are gone. And now I just need to get rid of what's in front of n, which is that 11. And yes, you can do this. You can do 12 divided by 11. That's okay. I just want you guys to realize that to write the answers, do 12 over 11. That's okay. It's actually better because the repeating decimal answers are kind of messy and stuff. So I just want you to realize that you can have a fractional answer like that, and it's perfectly fine. Okay, moving on to the difficult one. I want you guys to realize that the difficult one is just like the previous ones, it's just got extra steps attached onto the front of it. As you're solving them, they're going to become easier and easier, and they'll be easier to look at. Something you want to do right at the beginning is get rid of any of the parentheses stuff that you can, and really you can kind of think of that as parentheses. And so you can multiply that through. You're going to distribute that 1/2. 1/2 times 4x is going to give you 2x, and 1/2 times 1 is going to give you 1/2. Left side, we still got the plus 2, and then we got the x minus 5 over 3. Okay, what I want to do is I want to kind of get rid of this guy just to combine my constant terms together. And what that's going to give me, if I subtract 2 from both sides, is going to give me x minus 5 on the left side over 3. And then on the right side, I'm going to get 2x. And that's going to be subtract 3 halves. Okay, 1/2 minus 2 gives you negative 3 halves. And now I'm going to get rid of this 3 on bottom, right? Okay, you can pretend this has parentheses over it. I want to get rid of that 3 on bottom. It's like timesing by 1/3. And so to undo that, I'm going to times both sides by 3. You have to remember you times everything times 3. Okay, not just one piece. You have to times everything by 3. Those are going to cancel out. On the left side, it's going to give me x minus 5. And on the right side, the 3 times the 2x is going to give me 6x. And the 3 times the negative 3 halves is going to be negative 9 halves. In case you've forgotten, if you have two fractions, you multiply across the top, multiply across the bottom, and you got your new fraction. So now we're at this, and we don't have any more division stuff going on except right here, but we'll deal with that a little bit later. Right now it's just a constant term. Everything's on pretty much a level playing field. So I'm going to choose the side to put on my x's. I'm going to put all my x's here on the left side because, well, I can. So I'm going to subtract 6x from both sides. And then I'm going to get negative 5x, and you got to subtract 5 there on the left side. Right side's got negative 9 halves. I'm going to get the numbers on the right side. So once again, you need to do the, you're going to start at the bottom of our order operations and move up, get it. So I'm going to move this, subtract 5 to the right side by adding 5 to both sides. And it's going to take us up here. So then I got negative 5x on the left side. Right side, I got negative 9 halves. I'm going to add 5 to it. And if you punch that in your calculator, you're going to get 1/2. And now we just need to get rid of the negative 5 that's in front of the x, so divide both sides by that negative 5, because negative 5 in front of x means negative 5 times x, and so we're going to divide now, and now we have x equals, well, if you don't know what that is, you can punch in your calculator, or you can multiply by the reciprocal, and that's going to give you negative 1/10, and that's our answer. Ta-da! That was today's lesson, just kind of go over some of these things. I hope you found it educational and uplifting.